love the smell of nail varnish. Nadia was doing a nail varnish. She's not just wantonly ignoring me.
It's because we've both got to go out straight after
Yeah.
this, so I thought, multitask. Whilst I am reviewing, I am drying.
Happy Valentine's.
Happy Valentine's.
Yeah, it's Valentine's Day today. Which, for me, is an inordinate amount of pressure.
Why?
Well, because one feels like one ought to have done so many other things or had clever ideas and all that kind of stuff. But if I say the name Richard Curtis,
yes,
what does that make you think? I mean, he had his heyday, obviously, with 4 Weddings.
Yes.
Love Actually.
I think of, the first thing I think of is blockbuster films that are never very good, but somehow seem to capture international attention.
They, for some reason,
Filmed it brilliantly.
And also, I mean, of course, the whole Blackadder, Rowan Atkinson, I mean, you can't ignore the true genius and talent of so many of the sort of comic things that he's been involved with.
But unfortunately, I think we just go to Love Actually and stuff like that.
Well, Love Actually and 4 Weddings was great, and it was of its time.
I mean, I loved 4 Weddings.
I mean, I loved 4 Weddings.
It
really
at the
cheered me. It
time.
really cheered me up. But for me now, when I hear the name Richard Curtis, I sort of think not very funny, very safe. I mean, all these things, all these individual elements are great, but it's just fatigue has crept in when I sort of hear the name Richard Curtis. I go,
Kind of think, I'm going to get a bit of a ropey British movie.
Exactly. And then, what do you think when I say the name Danny Boyle, director of Trainspotting, Slumdog Millionaire?
Well, I haven't seen Slumdog Millionaire because you put me off it. I loved Trainspotting all those years ago. It was a major thing,
Trainspotting was amazing.
Yeah. What's his most recent one then?
Well, he worked on that John Paul Getty series. Do you remember he did the original
which
couple
is
of
very
2 or 3. And
how many more people are you going to ask me what I think when you say that?
well, anyway, okay. So Richard Curtis is one of the producers.
Your mother, your Auntie Flo.
Richard Curtis is one of the producers, and Danny Boyle is the director. I suppose I'm just being honest. As soon as I hear those two things, I used to like Danny Boyle, but it's not that I don't think either of them are very talented. I just know exactly what I'm going to get, and my worry is that there are no surprises. When I then add to the idea that this film, yesterday, incorporates the use of a knock to the head.
Right.
I sort of think,
oh no.
Oh, flipping.
Is it going to be one of those films where they have a knock to the head, wake up, don't know where they are, live their life over and over again?
Well, let's have a look.
This was my last gig. If it has happened by now, it's like a miracle.
Miracles happen.
What happened?
Electricity flicked off all over the world.
It's got that Richard Curtis feel.
What's the tea?
Yesterday,
Sort of.
Ellie bought you a present. All my troubles seem so far away.
It's the Beatles.
Now it looks
called
as
Yesterday.
though they're here to stay.
Billy James.
Oh, is it? Oh.
Yesterday.
When did you write that?
I didn't write it. Paul McCartney wrote it. The Beatles.
Who?
John, Paul, George and Ringo, the Beatles. No. Stop it. Yesterday. It's one of the greatest songs ever written.
Well, it's not Coldplay. It's not Fix You.
Do you genuinely not know who the Beatles are?
Genuinely.
Then I'm in a really, really, really complicated situation. When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me.
Sorry, I'm just listening to Jack's new song.
What's this one called?
Leave It Be.
Let it be.
Well, rock on, Jack.
Oh yeah! Tell you something.
Hi, we should talk. See, we pay and you write songs, and then you make a ton of money. And then we take most of it.
The one, the only, Jack Malik! We would like you to write something right now.
Something in the way she moves.
No one's ever written this many great songs. How do you do it?
Attracts me like no other lover.
Sometimes it feels like someone else has written all the songs.
Hey Jude.
I've been waiting half my life for you to wake up and love me. But I'm a school teacher and you are the world's greatest singer-songwriter.
I'm not.
Except for you are.
Richard Curtis.
It's going to be the greatest album of all time.
I've got two men who claim that the songs are theirs. Let's see how this plays out, shall we?
There's something you should know.
Please make some noise for Mr. Jack Malik!
Let me just give you this advice. Song title. Hey, Dude.
Hey Dude, are you sure?
Hey, dude.
It's so much better.
Well, it looked like the usual Richard Curtis rubbish, but again, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, you were laughing wall to wall there.
I don't know why it just tickled me.
What, the idea that he bangs his head and the Beatles no longer existed?
It's just
Although, did they
ridiculous.
exist? Because you see two people walk into James Corden's studio, and I see that Paul McCartney's on the credit list.
Yeah.
So obviously what's happened is he's gone back into a time continuum headspin in which the Beatles' individual band members exist, but they never got the success that they were due.
Ah.
See what I mean? So the songs have been written, they're just not famous. So I tell you what I like about that as a concept is the idea that everyone who achieves anything great has to have a modicum of luck. But do you know what I mean?
No, I don't know what you mean.
Well, what I'm saying is that clearly in the new universe that this character finds himself in when he's banged his head, the actual members of the Beatles have written those
yes,
songs, but they just haven't found
been
success.
They haven't been
Yes, so
famous
even
yet.
in the Beatles' success, there will have been moments in their story that were just based on
Yeah,
luck, good fortune.
exactly, that we
and I think
agree.
that's okay. There are so many great singer-songwriters who just have never made it.
Yeah.
More than have made it.
Yeah.
And so I quite like that idea. So in a weird way, it is Richard Curtis, isn't it? It's sort of saying even
That-
you can be the Beatles.
That kind of jolly sort of sound and the tinky music
Yeah.
and loads of stars just doing their turn and just
Yeah.
being, but I did laugh all the way through.
You did, you loved it, didn't you? Jesus Christ.
I didn't love it, I didn't like it.
You did love it. I like Ed Sheeran. I'm always feel
Oh,
very
I love
warm and
Ed
cosy when I see Ed
Sheeran.
Sheeran. He was in Game of Thrones the other night.
I did Celebrity
Juice.
Juice with him, and he's so nice.
Is
He's
he?
just as nice as
Yeah.
nice. He's just like chatting to someone
I know.
that just down the shops. He's
I know.
just
I want to
that
breathe
nice.
on his glasses and
No,
just
he's
polish
lovely.
them.
He's really lovely.
I want to breathe on his glasses and
I
polish them for him.
genuinely thought you are a good one. You are
Oh,
a good
thanks.
egg.
Oh, you're talking about him. What do you think of the actress Lily James? She was from Mamma Mia.
She looks so pretty with dark
She's
hair.
very pretty, isn't she? It's very, very British. Very British.
Very British.
But very clever because let's face it, the bootleg Beatles, they do well on stage. The Beatles, I mean, anything with the Beatles in it, and this is just another way of, I hate to say it, cynically milking the Beatles
it's
machine.
cynically milking.
Yeah, exactly.
But hey, if everyone goes and has a giggle like I did then,